very strong at the moment, and this will last not that long, about 70 mile-per-hour winds in spots for about 30 minutes. So this is the normal mode of Viper radar, strong winds, and you can see there could even be some hail across eastern parts of Scott County there. This is very heavy rain, torrential rain, maybe some small hail, gusty winds. That's in eastern Scott County. You know, this is moving very quickly. It's already getting ready to move through Johnson City. It's moving through Gray. It's moving through Bluntville, Bluff City, and almost to Bristol right now. Slightly earlier than expected, but overall kind of in that evening time frame that we've been talking about for a couple of days now. And all of these storms are moving to the south. Keep in mind, we also have a few lightning strikes as well. And guys in the back, just make sure we also have captioning, live captioning as well. You could see along the Virginia-Kentucky line. See these little notches? That's what I'm a little bit concerned about. Parts of Wise County, right over the line into Kentucky, Letcher County. Right in there, we could have some very strong winds, and also right in here, parts of Scott County, northern Sullivan County. And so we're going to watch that as we continue to go off to the northeast. So we're continuing to follow the very latest on Viper radar, and meteorologist Brittany Bowman is also standing by now as well. And she has some of the latest damage reports and notes that are coming in from the National Weather Service in Morristown as well. So we're watching this line as it continues to move off to the northeast. We're following the latest developments. Brittany, what are you noticing?
We just got a report from the National Weather Service that the Tri-Cities Airport ASOS station reported a gust of 53 knots. So all across this front initial line is where we're seeing the very gusty winds. Like Tyler pointed out before, we are seeing around 70 miles per hour just above the surface. So imagine we are at least seeing 60 mile per hour winds as we head towards the surface as this initial line begins to make its way through. You'll notice me switching back and forth between two different radars. We have the Jackson, Kentucky radar and also the Morristown, Tennessee radar. The mountains actually block some of those radar beams. So as we continue to switch back and forth between these graphics, we're getting different views of what we can expect here at the surface. So again, here's a pixel query of some of the winds above the surface. Notice at least 70 miles per hour. So if you are in these locations, this is where the greatest threat at damaging winds is now moving through. Portions of Johnson City, Elizabethton within the next few minutes, Bluff City, as well as Bristol. If you are in these locations, make sure you are just hanging tight indoors over the next few minutes, even the next hour, as gusty winds are definitely within these systems. This is why we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect as well. Moving over to Southwest Virginia, I'll switch over to the Jackson radar and notice we are seeing some winds, especially within this initial line, around 30 to 40 miles per hour here. A little bit of a very, very extremely broad rotation, but this is something we need to worry about and watch over the next few minutes. This is what we look for, this tighter couplet. It's very broad right now, but if this gets any tighter, we could be worrying about some rotation in this location. Yeah. I'll go ahead and zoom in. Some lightning even being picked up as well. I can see if some roads want to pop up. Here we are.
And sometimes when you have lightning, that's a sign of intensification as well.
Exactly. No tornado warning at this moment in our region, but we are watching this area of very broad rotation in Nicholsville. If you're anywhere near Grassy Creek Road, Cohen's Creek Road, Moo Road, and even upwards towards Middle Valley, Bull Run Road. This is where you need to have your heads up, paying attention, staying weather aware. A very broad area of rotation. The reds and the greens are indicating the winds moving towards and away from the radar. So when you get these tighter couplets, you can imagine that winds are moving in that rotation area. So that is what we'll continue to track over the next few minutes. Again, no tornado warning in effect for this or even any really good signs of that, but I just want to point out that there is a very broad area of that we'll continue to watch. And here's just a wide look at that current radar. Notice that line now pushing through Bristol, Lebanon. Within the next few minutes, expect very heavy downpours. Abingdon, gusty winds. Johnson City now getting on heavy winds. Irwin and Roan Mountain, you still have a little bit, but some very, very gusty winds are in the forecast. Any latest reports, Tyler?
Yeah, Brittany, I'm seeing that there are reports of power outages and tree branches everywhere in Bluntville. That's right by the airport. That makes sense. They had a gust to 60 miles per hour. 53 knots is 60 miles per hour. So if we could go ahead and zoom out and show the whole line, let's do some storm tracking. Take off the skits if you would. Let's clean it up just a little bit and draw a whole squall line if we could, or at least section it off in a couple different ways. And so it's moving very quickly to the east and northeast. It's hard to even keep up with how fast they're moving, but probably do at least 60 miles an hour. And you can see, there you go, Lebanon and Honaker 724, Lebanon 724, Honaker 734, and then on the southern branch of that, if you're, say, down toward Abingdon, Bristol, southward, all the way through Irwin, look out in the next few minutes. We're talking 10 to 15 minutes in Elizabethton and Abingdon. If you live in Irwin, I would also say in the next 10 minutes. Now, go back to radar real quick. I want to give the all clear, and wouldn't you agree, Brittany, for Greene County, Hawkins County, Hancock County, Lee County, Harlan County, anywhere in there, you are in the all clear. And if you're kind of hunkering down, laying low, you can kind of come out, so to speak, and out of your safe place. The worst has passed, but the worst is still going through Washington County, Sullivan County, western Russell County, western Washington County, Virginia, and then also up into Wise County. Some of the roughest weather is moving through your neck of the woods at the moment as well. Gusts to 61 miles per hour at the Tri-Cities Airport. That warrants the severe thunderstorms that we have seen, Brittany.
Exactly. And like Taylor's mentioned, if you're back behind this line in those counties he just listed, you're basically in the clear. Maybe some gusty conditions, breezy conditions, but if you're back behind this line, you're going to see those conditions improving over the next few hours. We're going to hop over to Kelly, who has some latest reports on any storm damages and power outages. We have the latest. Kelly?
Thank you, Brittany and Tyler, and we're continuing to follow the damage happening in our region. Right now, we have an update on power outages. We're seeing over 19,000 customers without power with the Appalachian Power Company, and that is into Sullivan County, Hawkins County, and Southwest Virginia. Switching over now to the Bridge Right map, over 250 people without power at this moment. Damage includes downed trees and power lines in Greene County, Hawkins County, seeing much of the same. We also now know that there are lane closures in Buchanan County at Lovers Gap Road. Now, some travel delays, so make sure you stay safe and take all of these roads slowly. And of course,
we're going to continue to track this line. That was some live footage from our storm tracker, looking like we had a little bit of technical difficulties contacting them to let us know exactly where they were. But you can imagine very heavy downpours, and notice it is dark outside as well. So making for that visibility to drop very quickly if you are out on the roads. Here's that line now pushing through Bristol. Abingdon, just a few minutes away of seeing some very heavy downpours and also some very breezy conditions, as well as Lebanon within the next few minutes. This is what is moving towards you. Again, very heavy downpours. That pink color, that doesn't show up too often on the radar. That's indicating very heavy rainfall and the potential of some very small hail within this. Again, the biggest threat being those damaging winds. I'll go ahead and send things back over to Tyler over at the wall to dive in deeper into these warnings.
Yeah, we're seeing some of those severe thunderstorms as well, and it continues to move very quickly. I want to answer some of your questions. A lot of you kind of chiming in on Facebook, and we appreciate that. Of course, we're streaming too on WJHL.com. Might be more of a reliable feed there. Some reports of lightning flashing in downtown Johnson City. Thank you very much, Chase. Bloomingdale and Stone Drive almost in clear, it looks like. Yes, I would agree. It's definitely improving, even in places in Kingsport down to Gray. We're seeing improving weather there. And then a couple more questions and reports. The power is out in Piney Flats off Allison. The wind is whipping, according to Joe Moon. And of course, want you all to stay safe. Some of the worst storms now going right over Johnson City, Central, up toward Bluff City, still Bluntville and kind of right up Bristol Highway. Some of the worst weather right now. So if you're in Piney Flats, just kind of hang low. If you're at Bristol, all the way up through Washington County, Virginia, here in the Emory, Meadowview community. There's Abingdon, so you're next. Lebanon is next. A little bit of small hail might be possible with this as well, but by far the damaging winds are the main threat with this storm as the line continues to move to the east. Look at these winds. I just want to point them out. They are strong. So if you are in Washington County, Virginia, Russell County, and even a little farther to the east over near Glade Spring, take shelter now in the lowest level of your moment, in the lowest level of your home. 70 to 85 mile per hour winds at least being detected above the ground. Kristen Gallant joins us live in the Storm Chaser. Kristen, I imagine it's pretty rough out there.
Hey Tyler, thanks. It's Kristen Gallant here for News Channel 11. I'm in the Storm Chaser right now with photojournalist Andy Jackson. You can hear those heavy winds on the car as we're driving around. It's dark now, but I can still see the clouds moving in quickly. We've seen some lightning and, of course, heavy rain that you're seeing on your screen right now. And we are on 107, heading towards 11W, again in Storm Chaser. Now, Greystone Road off of Camp Creek Road, we've been driving along there. Now, those are some back roads worry about when we're talking about severe weather. We're looking out for down trees, down power lines, and of course flooding. Now we'll be checking in with the Greene County Emergency Management throughout the night. So far, Kelly and Tyler, I know you guys have been mentioning this, but Appalachian Power Company says 19,000 people are without power within Southwest Virginia and our area in Tennessee. Now power lines and transformers are down in areas of Greene County. Some areas that we're hearing about those down trees is Horton Highway. Now there is a structure fire here in Greene County we are hearing about. Right now I'm not sure where that is. Once we do know, we'll get that information to you. But again, so far there are downed power lines and transformers here in Greene County. So be careful if you are on the road tonight. Watch out for that rain and those downed power lines. Right now I'll send it back to you all in the studio.
All right, so you heard Kristen Gallant say that 19,000 Appalachian Power customers in the dark. I imagine there's some other power companies out like Bright Ridge as well with some of these storms that are moving through. Do want to point out there are no tornado warnings, but extreme winds, some of the strongest winds we've seen in a long time, at least more than a year. We've seen some of these strong winds, and I will say kind of widespread too. Look at the winds kind of moving through parts of western Russell County, eastern Scott County, into much of Washington County, Virginia. Keep in mind, this radar, are we on MRX?
This is MRX.
MRX,
correct.
so this is kind of overshooting a little bit, but it's going about 4,000 to 5,000 feet off the ground. These are your wind speeds. The good news, no rotation really being detected. If it is, it's very small. And we're seeing these high winds and probably translating to 60 to 70 at the surface. Boy, this is unreal. 87 in Sullivan County, 83 mile per hour winds, at least again above the ground in parts of Sullivan County. You can see here we are in the Elizabethton Highway area, and then a little farther to the west. Here is Bristol Highway. Winds could be upwards of 70 to 80 miles per hour. We're going to take a live look at our weather cam network. This is up North Johnson City. This is at the State of Franklin area, just kind of to the east of I-26. You can see the rain coming down hard and fast, the wind whipping as well. I would not be driving through this weather at this moment because the wind is just that intense. Give it about 30 to 45 minutes. Once the rain starts, you know, things will really be quieting down very, very quickly. Here's a live look now at Viper radar again. We take the wide perspective, and I want to point out, if Brittany, you could draw a line right on the left side of these storms and kind of go all the way down so we can show you the all clear. And turn out, if you can, I know there's a lot of stuff on the map. Yeah, there we go. Get more cities so you can see. But if you live to the left or to the west of that line, you are in the clear. That's Kingsport. Mount Carmel, Rogersville, Burgoynesville, Greenville, all the way up through Hawkins and Hancock County. Lee County, you're good. Most of Scott County, you're good. The western half of Wise County, you're in the clear. But if you are in the thick, of things, from Lebanon down through Bristol, the Abingdon, almost Abingdon, the Emory and Meadowview community, down through Bristol, now South Holston Lake, all the way down through much of Sullivan County, Carter County as well, into Unicoi County. You are in the thick of things. I can pretty much give the all clear if you are in Jonesboro, Chuckey, Limestone, and points to the west. You are all clear as far as the severe weather threat. Yes, the rain will continue for quite some time, but the heavy rain continues. I've had some people say they've actually seen power flashes in the Bristol area. So, you know, I'm looking at some of the comments that we have on Facebook that we're seeing as well. And let's see, parts of Baileyton is out of power. Power on White Top Road. Power is on there. Still have power in Gray, but there are sporadic power outages in many cases. Several thousand people without power as well. And Viper radar is showing some of the strongest storms now on the east side of this line. I mean, look, this is one scan over a few minutes, and look how quickly, just in about 3 minutes, that line of storms has moved. So it's moving very quickly, almost out of, like, say, Market Street in Johnson City, really clearing up fast, and down toward Johnson City, Unicoi, and Irwin. We're seeing those storms. Even Flag Pond, you're seeing the storms move quickly as well. Just curious, checking our weather station here at the station, we had a 47-mile-per-hour wind gust just a little bit ago here at the TV station, and that was a little bit earlier with some of those storms moving through. And some of you have seen the intense winds even without the rain, and more is to come. So I don't want to leave out my friends in Glade Spring, down through Damascus, Shady Valley, and Trade. You know, Johnson County, you haven't had very much rain yet, but it's coming in the next hour or so. The rain will be moving to the Tennessee-North Carolina line, so Mountain City will be up in a little bit, and all the way down through Carter County, Roan Mountain, things will continue to deteriorate. But if you are west of Johnson City, if you're west of Gray and Kingsport, yes, the rain continues, Brittany, but we're noticing the worst weather has passed off to your west.
Yeah, I'm noticing some people asking about Roan Mountain, Johnson County. The worst is yet to come, but it is knocking on your doorstep within the next 10 to 15 minutes. You can expect the winds to dramatically change, really pick up within that time period, as well as the heavy rain. So looking at that current Viper radar, notice that line. This is where we're focused on watching the heaviest of rains and the strongest of winds. Where you see the heavy rain is where you can correlate also where the strongest of winds are. This is now pushing just to the outside of parts of Johnson County, as well as portions of western Carter County getting in on the heavy rain and gusty winds, but eastern Carter County, Roan Mountain getting in on some very heavy rain and even some very gusty winds once again over the next few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and pull up that velocity once again to kind of pinpoint some of the winds just above the surface. Notice we are still seeing the 70s. And remember, this is all tracking towards the east. So if you're in Mountain City, Johnson County, eastern Carter County, Roan Mountain, even Elizabethton, you could still see some very strong gusts here within the next few minutes along the main portions of this line. And if you're in Carter County as well, looking like winds not as strong, but still enough to get things going, especially those gusty conditions. Moving up towards Southwest Virginia as well, we're continuing to track that line. Now moving through portions of Abingdon, Lebanon. This is basically going to move right along 81 into Marion over the next few hours. And if we pinpoint the winds over in this direction, notice not much of a difference. We're upwards towards 80 miles per hour just above the surface. So imagine at the surface, we could be seeing up to hurricane force wind gusts. And remember, this will come in fairly quickly. Notice if you're in these locations right now in Glade Spring, you're seeing nothing. But within the next few minutes, you'll get light rain for about a minute or two, and then very heavy rain will begin to move in very gusty conditions. So again, this will move in very fast and move out very fast. Bristol almost in the clear. Tri-Cities Airport, things are calming down over there as well. Most of Washington County and northeast Tennessee will begin to see conditions improving over the next few minutes. But notice back behind this line you're tracking where the threat of damaging winds is, it will still be breezy over the next few hours, and some moderate rain is still falling out there. So keep in mind, roads will be wet over the next few hours if you're making any traveling plans tonight. But the main threat of severe weather, of course, within this main initial line, still tracking those warnings out there as well. They're kind of just moving along as the system pushes towards the east. We'll head things over to Kelly with an update on some damage and power outages.
Thank you, Brittany and Tyler. As you said, we're in the thick of it, and now we're looking at some viewer photos that have been sent to us. And I do want to stress that if you are taking these photos, make sure you're doing it from a safe distance. Your safety is very important. Tyler's been stressing that all evening, as well as Brittany. Now, this is sent to us from Ashley west of a billboard near Whitney's Closet in Kingsport. As you can see, it's just fallen over, possibly due to those heavy winds. I know we've been seeing those heavy winds all throughout the afternoon, and it's just going to get worse from here. Now, you can send all of those photos to us through our Facebook page. Make sure, once again, that you are being safe out there, and you could also send them through news@WJHL.com. And then we're also seeing some power outages at the Appalachian Power Company. We have Hawkins County. We have 2,371 customers seeing outages. We have Sullivan County, about 3,401 customers. Scott County, Virginia, 716 customers. And Tazewell County, 124 customers. So it looks like the thick of that is really relying in Hawkins and Sullivan County. We also have Bright Ridge outages. We're seeing 131 customers in Gray out, 85 customers in Jonesboro, 993 customers in Piney Flats, and then Sulphur Springs, about 64 customers. So the bulk of that seems to be in Piney Flats, and Tyler mentioned it. Get to a safe place in your home, buckle down. You don't need to be on the roads right now, and I know Tyler has the latest update on what's going on right now. Tyler.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much, Kelly. And this is a look at the storm system. By the way, it goes all the way up into the Ohio Valley, down to the Tri-Cities, Atlanta, and even down to Panama City and Destin. So these storms, are wild all across the deep south and the southeast. Thankfully, not much of a tornado threat. We have had some tornado warnings earlier in the Chattanooga and Cleveland area in southeast Tennessee. And then a little closer to home earlier, we had one in Hawkins County. Storm got right into Lee County, and very strong winds were reported there. But we've had a lot of trees and power lines down in Hawkins County, Lee County, parts of Lee County, but also Greene County as well. Some really rough weather. So here's a local perspective as well. This is our local area. You can see some of the strongest, I would argue the worst weather is actually in eastern Sullivan County from Holston Lake up through the Abingdon area, Emory and Meadowview communities. Starting to ease up just a hair, perhaps, Bristol especially, and then up toward Lebanon we're seeing that. But look at this, heavy rain, and if we could put the lightning count on there, I really don't think there's a lot of lightning, Brittany, but there could be a few lightning strikes, none being detected at the moment, but I would imagine there's a few rumbles of thunder at least. The wind is howling, and you guys know that, and you can see some of these storms are kind of moving right from central Russell County through Washington County, Virginia, eastern Sullivan County. Okay, Johnson County, heads up, it's coming your way in the next 15 to 25 minutes, especially if you're in Mountain City. A little sooner if you're over toward Laurel Bloomery and the Neva area, and then down toward the southwestern part of the county. We're seeing some of the rain beginning to move in. Strong storms, and more importantly, damaging winds. We've seen a history of that. Can we just pull up can we put up a weather cam real quick before we go to Kristen Gallant to kind of show some of the winds? Maybe in North Johnson City. It's probably getting a little bit better now in North Johnson City, but you can see some of these extreme winds that have been popping up across the area as well. 55 to 85 mile per hour winds off the ground. At the surface, probably 45 to 70 mile per hour winds. So Kristen Gallant is in our storm chaser right now. She's been riding on the road with our photographer, Andy, as well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Hey, Kristen, what are you guys seeing out there?
Hey Tyler, right now we are on 11E. We are actually heading towards Kennytown Road on Ottawa Road in Greene County. That's where we are right now. Again, we are in Greene County on 11E. We're hearing that on Kennytown Road there is some trees down and it's actually impassable, so that's where we're heading right now. Now, so far, Appalachian Power Company says that 19,000 people are without power in Southwest Virginia and in our area in Tennessee. Now, there are power lines and transformers down here in Greene County. Again, power lines and transformers down in Greene County. So we will be driving around here to see where those are. Now, we've also heard that